All right. Um, I hope everything's back up and running now. All right, appears to be. Please let me know. My computer seemed to have died, but it looks like we came back fully running. But I've lost my headphones. See those back on. Noise cancel. All right. Um. All right. It says I'm still up and running. Oh, let's stir this real quick. Let's turn down my heat. And let me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's turn that down just a little bit more. That's already coming along. All right, let me get a phone real quick and see what's going on. All right. Let's see if I'm still up and running. Done. Back. All right. Yeah, I appear to be up and running. I'm sorry about that drop. I'm back, Fi. Alrighty. All right, so we're back up and running. Everything's good. Please come back. Sorry about that technical difficulties. Um, Apparently my computer got unplugged and had less charge than I thought it did, so it died. But got everything back and running now. And looking at my phone, I'm back on. So, all right, we got that back done. Wow, that was interesting. So I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna hit somebody up real quick. Da 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 da. Done. Your live channels. Dr. Z. Computer. Died. But back up now. Alright. Get that back and going. Alright. That sucked. Oh well. Technical difficulties will happen. That is a fact. That is a fact. Technical difficulties will happen. Alright. Still got chopper mushrooms put in here with those. So I got about almost a pound of hamburger, maybe a little bit more. Got this locally here. Didn't buy that at the commissary. Rather have the fresh meat instead of the frozen stuff that they send to us from the States. Saying it's bad, just saying that they ship it to us frozen, and I'd rather not have that. And of course, every time I go near my phone, the iPod want to shift to that. You know, I love Apple to death, but come on, Apple. If I didn't start with you, don't switch when I'm trying to look at something else. Alright. I guess turning on the heat would be good here. Alright, so got the hamburger's gonna start cooking. And we're gonna add our vegetables to our hamburger. And we're just going to keep going. The hamburger already starting to fry up. It's a good thing. Now we got to put our mushrooms in here because I want them in there too. I can hear you, Dr. Z. Can you hear me? Alright, I will kill Discord. There. And quit Discord. Alright. Discord is down. And we're back. That's alright. Technical difficulties. We'll work through them. We will work through them all. They're going to happen from time to time. We're still a new streamer. I mean, I see you guys that stream all the time, or see the guys that stream all the time have technical difficulties from time to time. You know, things dropping, things needing to be restarted. But we got it going back up. See how our noodles are doing. This is actually about done. Alright, so I'm going to turn those off. But I still want to get my mushrooms done before I do anything with that. Still want to get them in there. It's not going to hurt them to sit there for a minute. So let's start watching our mushrooms. Yeah, we'll set it up there. We'll do something with it right there for right now. That'll be alright. As long as I don't turn the stove on it, it'll be fine. And here shortly I can get my oven started. So we want to do 350. So yeah, it's about 350 degrees on the oven for this. So we'll set it. Let's see, we'll add 32 and divide by 2 is 350. That would be 380 divided by 2. It's going to be about 190 is what we're going to want to set our oven at. Yeah, I'm getting better at doing the conversions now. Doing them by in my head now, so I have to get the phone out. So I'm getting a little better. Actually, a buddy of mine told me how to do it. And then when I saw the formula to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit, it really made it easy because it's like 5/9, or the centigrade temperature times 5/9 minus 32. So when we're talking ninths, that's not a whole lot. Get rid of the ninths, just make it a half, and divide by 32. So if I'm going the other way, I'll just add the 32 and divide by 2. And I should be pretty close. So we're just going to finish cooking this down. Add our mushrooms. This actually looks pretty good. I eat this just by itself like this. Oh, wait, we did the other night with just some cheese and I called it meatloaf, didn't we? We did. So we baked it instead of putting it in the frying pan. All right. Love mushrooms. And that's the neat thing about Japan too. There's so many different types of mushrooms you can choose from here. So many different types. And they like their mushrooms over here. Let me say that. They really like their mushrooms over here. Alright, so now we have all that stuff done. We're going to keep letting this cook for a minute, and then we're going to add our pasta, our sauce, our spaghetti sauce right to this once we get the meat cooked down a little bit more. I don't want to put it in too soon, and probably just, I'll probably pour off some of the grease if I have a lot of it in here. I don't think there's going to be a lot in here. This didn't look like it was too bad. Plus, with the vegetables and everything, it'll probably hold the grease pretty well. Alright, so now we need to deal with our spaghetti. While this cooks, we'll deal with that. And the other thing, the spaghetti sauce doesn't really need to be cooked already, so once I get it in the oven, it'll be put everything together, it'll work fine. Alrighty. Okay. That's coming along nicely. Start our oven. Oops, turn it on. Temperature 220. What did I say? I said 190. Alright, so put some time on that. And get that preheating. Alright, so drain my water off my spaghetti. And I'm going to need another bowl for that, so we're going to get this bowl out so we can put our spaghetti in there first. Ooh, there's a lot of spaghetti. There wasn't a whole lot of water left in that pan. Alright, so since we're actually going to cook with the spaghetti instead of just serving it, we are actually going to rinse it this time. Whoa. Rinse it, and because of the way I'm going to cook with it, rinse the starches off of this, because I don't need them with this. So I'm just going to gently spray the spaghetti with cool water. It'll also cool it down. Alright, that should be good. Try to get all the water off if we can. Alright, so I'm just going to put this in this bowl. This is where it gets fun. So, with this recipe, I'm actually going to take and add a couple of eggs to that. So I went and got new eggs today. And this is how I get my eggs here in Japan. Is where I used to live, there is an old lady that sells fresh eggs. And if you get there in the early morning, you get a nice selection. And instead of coming in a crate, you get the eggs like this. She wraps them up in newspaper for you. I buy 10 eggs at a time, so each little portion of the newspaper has 5 eggs in it. And I get some Japanese newspapers. So these are extra, these are 2X eggs. And my refrigerator actually has a neat little spot to hold my eggs. Oop. Careful, because we got our other eggs right there. Let's get rid of this. Whoa. Don't want to lose anything. Alrighty, got our eggs. I'm going to take 2 eggs. Probably need more. I'm going to take 2. And I'm going to go ahead and beat them up, or beat them in this bowl that you saw me get out. Got any more? At least not right now. Probably got. So we're just going to beat our eggs in the bowl before we put them in there. So what the eggs are going to do is the eggs are actually going to hold the spaghetti together. When it's in the oven, it's going to bind the spaghetti together and make it like the crust for our spaghetti pie. Alright. If you'll excuse me real quick, I need to, you're going to hear it unfortunately, but I need to go get a piece of Kleenex. So if you'll just excuse me from the camera for a moment, be right back. Sorry about that. Now, of course, just blew my nose, so let's wash our hands again. Because who wants sticky germs on our food? Turn that water down to be quite that powerful. Alrighty. Much better. I don't know what it was. It got up there. It wouldn't make me sneeze, but something did. So, beat my eggs up. Yes, the eggs are very orange. I don't know what it is, if it's what they feed the chickens here in Japan or what it is, but the eggs are very, very orange. Alrighty. So I'm just going to dump that on my spaghetti, and I'm going to mix that up. And I'll probably use the pan over there to help mix this up because it's probably going to be a little bit bigger than that. And then I'm going to add Parmesan cheese to this. So yes, craft Parmesan cheese. I did buy this at the commissary instead of trying to find it out in town because cheeses can be a little more difficult to find. And that's probably enough. We'll save some of this for later on for use when we finish it. Because who doesn't like Parmesan cheese on their spaghetti? So now, as I said, I may have to use the other bowl there, but I want to just stir all this stuff up together. It's actually, this bowl is just about the right size. Wouldn't want to use any more. Mess with our meat. Don't want it to burn. So our meat's coming along nicely. And everything in there should be cooking nicely. So what I'm going to do now is finish doing that. But I could, and I'm going to go ahead and add my spaghetti sauce to this, which is going to make this fun to mess with. There's not a lot of oil on that. Meat is actually pretty lean, considering. So we're going to add our spaghetti sauce now. We're going to turn the heat back down even further. Don't want a lot of heat on that right now because I don't want it splashing all over the place. Oh. Got it. You know, there was a time it was a lot easier for me to do that. Hee hee. Huh. Hee hee's not even funny. Part of it. Alrighty. Alright. Da-da-da. It's not quite as bad choppy maybe, but still wonder if the mic is picking her up. But I can hear the stuff cooking just as well. I add Parmesan to my spaghetti sauce in the last minute of cooking. Just enough to turn it from red to a slight orange tinge. I like Parmesan cheese too, and that would probably be really good. We're gonna have some more fun with some different cheeses here in a few minutes. But I gotta finish stirring that. Let's just stir this up a little bit. This is probably more than I'm gonna need, but I can use it for other things too. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and let that sit. Not sit, because it's actually going to cook off a little bit because it's still going. So we got egg in here, Parmesan cheese, and we're just going to stir it up. Try to get it as best we can stirred up without making too much of a mess. I don't know how a piece of onion got in there, but hey, we got it out. So just going to stir. So this is what we're going to use to form our crust. That's why we're going to call this spaghetti pie, because this is actually going to be the crust for our pie. Alrighty. Get our oven going. That going. That can sit over there. That's fine now. Alright. Let's break that up. Cheese wants to stick to my spoon. That's to be expected. Alright, so we'll finish stirring it up over here. We're mixing if we have to. We're just going to put this in our pan. Like that. Alright, then we're going to take and we're going to make we're going to put it in here like it's a pie, like we're making a pie crust, or like it would be a pie crust. I mean, pie crust would be different, but you guys get what I'm saying, I think. So, looks like it's pretty well mixed up with cheese and that. So I just want to create like a crust here around the edges and on the bottom so that we actually have something to call a crust for our pie. So, now we got that part done. We're going to set this aside for a moment. Set her aside. We're going to set this aside. We're just going to set it right over here. We're going to stir this again, make sure we're not burning anything. It looks pretty good. Got our oven going. Alright. Alright, so we're not quite done with things yet. Another bowl. So I'm gonna rinse this bowl out. So we're gonna actually wash this bowl out in a few minutes once we get it in the oven before we start our applesauce. Because we're gonna rinse it out for now, so it's easy to go. All right. So next part is we're gonna take ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese is actually what I found ricotta cheese here in Japan. And it said ricotta on it, so I was like, oh wow, I don't have to use my translator. All right, what we got going on here? Adds a little something to the sauce. Always found missing zest, maybe. Yeah, it may. It may. All right, so take that off. All right, I'm just gonna put my ricotta cheese in here, and not waste any of it. All right, ricotta cheese there, and this is going to be about a 50% mixture of cottage cheese and ricotta cheese. So this is kind of like a lasagna too. All right, so obviously Japanese cottage cheese is a little bit different than ours. They've actually strained it and crushed it to get rid of more of the liquids than what we normally do. So it's pretty dry compared to what ours would be, or what we find in North America. Matter of fact, when I was looking at it, there was a person that had moved from Japan at one point, or lived in Japan at one point, and is starting eating cottage cheese over here. And they had moved back to Canada and were wondering why the cottage cheese was so different. And the reason is because they strain a lot more of the liquid off the cottage cheese and put it through a strainer than what we do. So I'm just going to mix these two cheeses up together like this. So this spaghetti pie is actually almost like a lasagna when you really think about it. You really see it. You can see what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to bring this back here, and we're going to put this right on top of our spaghetti, like so, and spread that around as such, so that it makes a nice layer on top of our pie crust. Make sure we get all this out that we can, no sense of wasting any of it. Alrighty. So, what we've done so far is made our meat sauce, and we created our pie. And our pie again was, or our pie crust for our spaghetti pie, and that's actually made out of spaghetti, eggs that I beat up, or that I beat, and some Parmesan cheese in there. Then we made a layer of cheese to go in there, and that was approximately 1 part ricotta and approximately 1 part cottage cheese, so about 50-50. And again, just like anything else, when as I tell you all when I cook, you can do it however you want to, however you want to make it. All right, let's loosen that up. All right, now we're going to move this over here because this could be a messy part. And I'm just going to take my spoon, use a spoon, and I'm going to spoon this into what we've got prepared already. So, like I said, it looks like I'm going to have some extra. That's okay. I still got some more spaghetti up there. I'll just put this in a container, and we will make spaghetti later on in the week for a meal, so I don't have to go out and buy another meal. All right. Leave some meat sauce in there. Liquid in it, so it's got all the good stuff in it. You see, there we go. Now, there's our spaghetti pie. Now we're going to stick it in the oven for about 30 minutes to bake off, and we'll get our applesauce started here shortly. But what we're going to really do with this is we're going to put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. But about 20 minutes into it, with about 10 minutes left, we're going to cover it with mozzarella cheese. And maybe throw some more of that Parmesan cheese on there too. So I'm just going to slide this in the oven real quick. There we go. And don't forget to push the start button, Lizzie, so that your oven keeps going. Because we know how this oven works. We figured that out. Alright, get rid of our plastics. You know what? Before we start our applesauce, we're actually going to take care of that. Put that in another bowl so I get that pan off the stove. Got these wonderful little things. And we're just going to scoop that in there. It's glass, so it'll be fine. And we'll make some spaghetti out of that later on this week. That'll make a good meal. Nice and easy, simple. And take it for lunch or something. Alright. And we'll get a top for it. And I'm just going to set it in the refrigerator with the top off. Not off, but with the top unsealed. Just so that it can cool better. Alright. Our applesauce. Alright, so I didn't get a different varieties of apples, and I don't even know how these apples are. These are just some apples that they had at the grocery store when I went and bought the meat and everything. Alright, excuse me one more time. Need more kitchen space than I got to make them. Okay, I miss this. Oh, pierogies. Oh, pierogies. Me loves some pierogies. Alright. Somebody's got to tell me how I can make you guys a moderator so I can get rid of that bullshit. Because I don't need people trying to tell me to buy fucking followers. Because I'm not buying a fucking follower. How do I make you a mod? Fi? Do I do? Tell me what I gotta do. Because I want that guy gone. So just tell me what I gotta do at some point and we'll take care of that. Because we're not buying followers. Alright, applesauce, pretty simple here. I'm going to take and use this to peel my apples into. And we're going to wash this pan out that we made our spaghetti in. So that we have something to put our apples into. So, real quick. And probably got more apples than I need. I bought 6 of them. It's a half a dozen apples. Oh my goodness. Oh, you made me hungry talking about pierogies. I love some pierogies. So, I have made them in the past, but it's been a while. Okay, I will. I'm going to do that right now. So, slash, whoops, messages, send message. It's not a touchscreen, is it? So used to touchscreen. Type slash BAN, and of course, see, we're going to cut and paste because that's going to be easiest. Copy, ban, space, paste, chat. Alright, there we go. Got rid of him. Got rid of him. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate your help, my friend. I really do. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit of water in the pan to get started with. And then we're going to peel our apples and cut them up and put them right in there. And we're also going to add lemon juice, so why don't we go ahead and juice our lemon and get that out of our way too. In the meantime, our spaghetti pie is baking. Let's get our juicer out. Juice that up. So it's just so easy here to get fresh lemons. They're available all over the place. So that's why you'll see me use fresh lemons all the time instead of buying lemon juice and using it. It's just so easy to get the fresh lemons that I just go ahead and buy them and juice them by hand. Lizzie hair. And that's the downfall of having long hair. Alrighty. Put our lemon juice in there too. Oh, don't want the seeds. No seeds, no seeds, no seeds. Alright. There we go. Put that over there. Clean it up later. Alright, so now I'm going to use Pi's cheese slicer to peel my apples. Now what? Alright, we're still here. Still here. Still here, still alive. And we're just going to peel up our apples. We're going to peel them right into the bowl so that we don't make such a mess. Oh, this works great for peeling apples. I wish Mom would have had one that was like this when I was growing up and she used to make me peel things. I think this works better than the long ones that she used to have. Those old metal ones. I still have them back at the house in the States. But this is amazing. Bruise. Alright. So just peel it, peel the apple. Meantime, our spaghetti's cooking. Gotta watch our timer. Alright, so now we want to core the apple too, because we don't want to put the seeds in there. So we're just going to chop that up into quarters. And then because that knife is a little hard to do things with, I'll get my paring knife out and get rid of the apple core itself. And then just cut it up into the water into small slices. So probably didn't need to buy 6 apples, but hey, at least these apples, I'll peel some of these up and take them to work. Sweet. Very nice. Very good flavored apple there. So, we'll see how many we're going to do here. So there's one apple done. We'll set that over there. Time to peel the next one. That's something else I can make. You know, we talked about making cookies last time. I can also bake pies. Ha ha ha. Mom taught me how to make pie crust too. It's actually easier than making a cake, to be honest. Oops. Don't drop it, Lizzie. Slow down. Got plenty of time. Talk to myself sometimes. Alright. There we go. And we'll do the same thing with this apple. Quarter it. Decore it. I think I'm going to use maybe half of these apples. We'll do one more after this and call it good. I think that'll be plenty. It's only for me, and plus this pan's not that huge. Ooh, almost got myself there. In the meantime, we got about a little while left on our spaghetti yet. On our spaghetti pie. That's not going to take too long to cook. So about a half hour. That's about all it takes. Alrighty. Yeah, we'll do one more apple. Save the other 3 for during the week. These things are flavorful. I know Dr. Z mentioned that he likes the Granny Smith apples for applesauce. That would be excellent because they are a little more tart. They make good pies too. Of course, to make a pie, I like to, and even when I normally do this, I like to use a couple different varieties of apples so I get more flavor in it. And if you're going to make applesauce, by all means, experiment with, or apple pie even, experiment with the mixing the different apples. You'll find that you can really change your flavors quite a bit. So again, quarter it. and core, then cut up and put in the pan. And we'll get our pan going here in a second. Yeah, I think this is going to be plenty of apples for us. Whoops. Let's get all that core out. There we go. Those are really good. Those are really good apples. All right. And that should be plenty. All right, and we'll start this burner. And there we go. We're going to just let that cook. We'll bring it up to a boil. And then we'll turn it down. And we'll actually put a cover on it right now. What happened to my covers? Oh, I think they're down here. Yep, there they are. Put the cover on that. Alrighty. Let's see. Get rid of this. No, I don't want unbanning. I want to time him out. I want him just to go away. That's okay. I can. Cottage cheese pierogies and farmer sausage with. Oh my god, dude, that sounds so wonderful. So I said I've made them in the past, but I don't normally make them. I don't really buy them. I go to the grocery market or grocery store and just buy the pierogies that are frozen. But what I found is that if I just layer them, single layer in an air fryer, they come out amazing. And we actually have an air fryer at work in my office back in the States. And yeah, so I mean we've done steaks. We've got another guy that likes to cook too, so we've done some crazy lunches. With the equipment we have with George Foreman fryer, he's got a hot plate he brings in, and a panini machine too that he's brought in before. So we've had some crazy lunches. But yeah, I'd like to go to the grocery store that's not too far from my shop, and I will literally buy pierogies and put them in the air fryer. I'm just gonna get rid of this earphone because it's not working. Because I can't. This is not working, so let's just get rid of it. All right, that actually feels better. So we got our apples started. They're going. And we got about 20 minutes or so left on our spaghetti pie. It looks like it's cooking up nicely. So we'll probably, in about another 7 minutes or so, go ahead and put the other cheese on there so that it melts up nicely. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start getting cleaned up. At least get the kitchen a little cleaned up so that it's not as much work for me later on. Because I think most people would agree that the absolute worst thing about cooking is the cleanup. But in the modern world with a dishwasher, it's really not that bad. Unfortunately, back home I don't have a dishwasher, so I end up doing everything by hand. But that's okay too, because however it gets done, that's fine. As long as it gets done. Get our stuff in here. I'm not going to wash this in the dishwasher today because I'm probably going to want that to get my food out with. That can go in there. I'm going to want this to cut the food up with, so that doesn't need to go in there. This one can go in there. Turns it off though. Takes that off. You know what? We can run the dishwasher with this stuff in it first. Then the stuff that I actually eat on today, I can run later. So they say it actually takes less water to run the dishwasher than it does to do the dishes. So let's go go ahead and get that started. Push the button. Boom, dishes are started. Awesome. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Ah. Your dishwasher lives in Thailand. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah. Just because we're married to you doesn't, we're women, doesn't make us your dishwashers. Have you heard from her lately? How's she doing? How's Thailand doing? Is Thailand doing well with the virus or and whatnot? Over there. Rinse it off. Wash it off too, so it's nice and clean. Alrighty. So got that going. Our applesauce is going. It's starting to boil. See the apples boiling there. We'll go ahead and yeah. Look at that. Look at those. They're cooking up nicely. By the time this gets done down here, our applesauce should be good to go. Stick our apples over here for later on. I'll definitely eat those. She wouldn't take offense. That's good. That's good. I'm glad she wouldn't. I'm glad she wouldn't. All right, we got about 18 minutes left on that. Oop, I'm gonna rinse this out. So, as you've all heard me say many times, everything here has its own separate trash can. So this goes in one, this goes in another. But try to rinse the food out of it first, so that it doesn't start stinking later on. And of course, the recycle, they want it clean anyways. Alrighty. That's cooking. Alright. Yeah, we can't do too much of that. I don't want to burn myself. I guess I can move it over that burn and clean it. We'll just leave it there. We'll clean it up later. Yeah, we actually got a nice... Got everything going. It's going to be nice to have it clean this time. The last couple times I've neglected to clean up as I've cooked, so it's been a nightmare to clean up. Let me take that garbage out tonight. Boom, looking good. We don't want that to pull our pan out with. Try that off. Are you battling already? And Sandfly, welcome. Welcome. Glad to see you here too, my friend. Oh, let's turn our applesauce down. Alright, so let's take and do I have another bowl that we can use? Because I really don't. Oh, I can use this. I can use that. So, what we're going to do is, as I said, we want to save some Parmesan cheese. We're going to take and combine some Parmesan cheese. So I'm probably going to put about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese in here. That's about a half cup. About a half cup Parmesan cheese. We'll put this back in the refrigerator. And then we're going to take probably use So we're gonna add it. There we go. Oops. There we go. To that. I may take and add more of that in the end, but use a different. Let's use a fork and mix it up a little bit better. I'm just gonna gently mix these two up together and make a mess while I'm doing it. But that's okay. We're allowed to do that. Alrighty. This doesn't have to be too well mixed up. Of course, it's hard though. This would be easier if I. You know what we can do? We have this pan here. We'll just dump it into this pan and mix it up in the pan instead of trying to kill ourselves with a measuring cup. We're not going to actually cook this in the pan. We're just mixing it up to make it easier. Matter of fact, no, it's actually going to make more of a mess. Leave that sit there for a second. Alright, so we got about 15 minutes left there. I think that's probably a good time to pull this out. Or mess again. Alright. So our apples are still cooking. Let's give them a stir. Oh yeah, they're starting to cook down. They're starting to cook down nicely. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yep, they're getting done. They are getting done. Alright, we'll let those keep going. Let's get our spaghetti pie out for a second. Alright. Because we want to put our cheese on the top of it. That smells good. Alrighty. So, that's what our spaghetti pie is looking like right now. And this cheese we just mixed up, we're going to sprinkle on top of it. As I said, I may go ahead and add some more Parmesan, or not Parmesan, but mozzarella. There should be plenty of cheese here. Don't want to make too much of a mess in the oven. Alrighty. Clean the pan out. It's got a little burn spot there left. Put some Scotch-Brite, stainless steel. Comes clean nicely. Alright. Should get that over all of our, over those areas. I think that looks good. Now it's going to go back in the oven to finish baking. It helps if I open the oven up first. Our little magic oven thingamabobber. That's the easiest I've had going so far. Alright. Push start again. And we're doing well tonight. Let's see, what do we got in chat going on? Welcome to the Santa Slice. It's a great place. Just bring your bug spray. Hey, Fisk, thank you. Thank you for coming by, too. Ooh, Lizzie Mike the Monkey's here. All right. Hey, I got some great people that have joined tonight. Wow. Oh, no. Sandfleck can self-promote whenever he wants to. He's been such a wonderful person to raid and go in there and follow me and try to help me get followers. If he wants to do a little self-promotion, I have no issue with it. I have no issue with Fisk doing some self-promotion too, because he's another great streamer. Dr. Z, another great streamer. I have no problem with it. That doesn't bother me in the least bit, because you guys are amazing in the way you've supported me and helped me as I grow and as I learn to be a streamer. And I have nothing but respect for all of you and appreciation. Respect and appreciation. I really, really, truly do. So let's see how our apples are doing in here. Yeah, they're getting there. Almost to the point where I can start mashing them. It'll be mashable. Yeah, the spork's going in nicely. And we're going to pour off that excess water and mash those up. In fact, we're going to do that in just a couple of minutes. So be careful with that. Let's get that out of the way. Get that because we're going to work with a hot surface. And I'm just going to use my potato masher for it. I'm going to add some cinnamon, organic cinnamon. I guess that's cinnamon in kanji, but I got this here in town, so 100% organic. I guess that makes it better, right? And then I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar. And while I was pretty sure this was sugar when I picked it up, I did verify that it was sugar by using my Google Translate to verify, because the last thing I'd want to do is put salt into it. I can't wait to see that when the cheese is melted. Cheese, we come for the cheese. Hey, you guys know I love cheese. You guys see how much stuff I've done with cheese. I mean, the cheesy rice, Doria. The meatloaf last Wednesday that was stuffed with cheese. So much cheese when you cut it open, that cheese just comes rolling out. The cheese is starting to melt. It's looking good. I'm gonna let it just brown a little bit on top before I pull it out. That's when it's really gonna look good. Alright, let's check these again. I think these are probably pretty ready. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this fire off. And let's be careful with this. So really don't need that, do I? And maybe. Trying not to burn myself here. I guess I should get another glove. There we go. To pour most of that water off. I don't mind having a little bit. I want a little bit left in there, but not a whole lot. So that's what it looks like right now. And I'm going to take my glove and use it as a hot pad because I don't want to sit it on this countertop because it's not mine. And let's go ahead and, before we start mashing, let's go ahead and add some cinnamon. I don't want to bump this. Let's go ahead and... the cinnamon does smell good already. Get rid of the shaker so I can just dump some cinnamon in there. Should be enough. If we want more, we can always add more. It's not going to need a whole lot of sugar, so because those apples were pretty sweet. Now, I probably should have brought brown sugar too. Brown sugar would have made it just that much better. Would have made it taste. Oh my God, brown sugar would have made it so much better. But I went with white sugar because I didn't have any white sugar, and next time I make it, I'll probably use brown sugar. I think brown sugar definitely adds to it. So we're just going to mash them up like we did the potatoes the other night and carrots. And then what we'll do is, once we get them mashed up, if we decide we want it a little bit thicker, we will put it on the stove and let that sugar and that cause it to get a little thicker and get rid of a little more of the moisture that's in here. And again, applesauce, you can use a blender to do this with, a hand blender or whatever, and it'll be a lot less lumpy maybe, if that's what you're looking for. I don't mind some lumps of applesauce, but we don't want it too lumpy. But yep, so we just do that. As you can see, it's nice and smashed up. You can add vanilla. I don't have any vanilla have any vanilla right now, so I won't be doing any vanilla in it tonight. It's something I need to get some vanilla. Because of the way we want to do that, we're going to put that in this one this time. And we're going to turn the fire on. And we're going to turn that down. And I don't want it to burn, so we're going to stir it a little bit. A little more. We'll turn it way down. We've got to fire all the way off. Well, not all the way off, but almost all the way off. Just to drive some more of this liquid out. Probably could pour a little bit more of the water off. But then I would have lost some of that lemon juice too. But the lemon juice had a dual purpose. It helped keep the apples from oxidizing. So we're going to let that just simmer down, let it thicken up a little bit. It's already doing it. Let's take a look at our, it's coming. We've got about 5 more minutes. It should be, the cheese is starting to turn. So the cheese is starting to brown on top, which is what we're looking for. So when this 5 minutes are up, it should be really, really good. And our applesauce. A seed from our lemon. Pull that out. Applesauce is looking pretty good too. It smells good. I really smell the cinnamon in it. It smells really good. Matter of fact, let me grab another spoon. I'm going to taste it. I don't know if I want to add more cinnamon, more sugar, whatnot. It's actually pretty good. I don't think I need to add anything else to it. Just keep stirring it so that it doesn't burn in my pan. And it's starting to thicken up nicely. What we got going on in the chat? Yep, the cheese still. Cheese. Yeah, cheese is going to be good. Just going to stir that. Make sure we don't burn anything. See, it's just cooking away, and all that steam is just taking more of the moisture away, which is going to give me a thicker applesauce, which is what I'm looking for. About 3 minutes left on our timer, excuse me again. Sorry about that. I don't know what it is. It just caused my nose to start running while I was cooking tonight. Really don't. Alrighty. Hands washed again. So I can burn this. Yeah, the edges are starting to brown up nicely. Oh, this is going to be good. I'm excited. I haven't had this in a while. That over here for now. I'll just keep stirring this down. This is coming along nicely too. Said probably could have used some more used another apple in there, would have made more, but it's only me, the only one here, so why not just make it for myself? And I said I got the other apples for later on and do other things with them. You could add some butter to this too, would be really good probably. Give it an apple pie, more of an apple pie flavor, with especially if you had brown sugar in here. They become softer and softer. We're good to go. Good to go on that. All right, got just about a minute left on our. All right, it's just the edges that have browned up, but that's going to be okay. It's still nice and melted, and I guess we could add another minute. Maybe kick the temperature up just a little bit. At 2 minutes, well, 2.5 minutes. Kick the temperature up a few degrees to try to get that the cheese to finish caramelizing, browning up, bubbling up. In fact, we're gonna call the applesauce done at this point. And I actually like my applesauce cooler, so we're gonna let it sit there and cool. And let it sit right there because that'll give us room for our spaghetti pie when it comes out. Not thinking tonight. All right, so yes, cheese. We come for the cheese. B Cube. Thanks for the comment. Can't wait to see the cheese when it's melted. Right. Looking forward to it. Got just a couple minutes here. Turn that up a little bit. It's a little warmer here right now because of the oven. Of course, that happens. And yeah, it's going to come out nicely. Yep. I think that was just the right decision to make there. So, another minute, and we'll be pulling that out and letting that cool for a second. So, let's get rid of our stuff that we can get rid of. We don't want that. We don't want that. We can put our lid back on our cinnamon. Take care of that. I need to get a container to put sugar in. Since they don't come in the same type of containers, or a Ziploc one. I'm afraid I might grab it and spill it at some point. Have some iced tea. We're waiting. Favorite, my oolong tea. Absolutely love it. All right. 10 seconds. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. And that's the oven being done. Alrighty. Fun part's getting this out. Just covered earlier. Oh, perfect. Oh my god, it's perfect. Oh my god. It is perfect. Look at that. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. That is beautiful. Look at the way that cheese just, Are you still there, B Cubed 81? Look at the way that melted off. Look at that. So I'm going to let that cool for a minute. For a few minutes here. Just continue to clean up after myself so that we have less work to do later on. I just want to let that cool before we cut into it and try to serve it. Just for a couple of minutes. Let it cool. It should be cooler. Set that over there now. Matter of fact, let's put the lid back on this and we're going to stick it in the refrigerator. Enough room there. Oh, I don't have enough room. I do if I take. Whoa. There we go. Stick that in the refrigerator so that'll be ready for dessert. Which you guys probably won't be joining me for it. You're not going to watch me eat the whole thing. But I did taste it for you. It's delicious. Nice cinnamon flavor to it. Doesn't need any more sugar. We put just enough in it. All right. Let's get our plate out. And let me turn this off now so we got less noise there. What else is going? Ah, is the oven still going down there? I'm gonna cut this. So I bought this pan today too at the commissary. I was looking for a pie pan. The only pie pan they had was a Pyrex pie pan. And while I love Pyrex, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Pyrex pans. I gotta think it was just more than I wanted to spend on a pan because if I spent that much money on a pan, then I would have to take it home with me. Yeah, maybe let this cool a little bit more, I think. Go ahead and slice around our edges so it's easier to come out too. This is probably going to make quite the mess when it comes out. That's okay though. Especially the first piece is always going to come out a little rough. And, good. But let's go ahead and try to get the first piece out. I think with aluminum it does tend to cool a little quicker. It's still pretty hot though. Don't want to burn myself. Alright, we got up underneath it. And let's... So you see my crust there, how it is, or how it's sat. And you see, whoops. See how it all came together, how it looks. I love the way that cheese came out on top. See everything there. It may not have been the prettiest when I plated it. You can see the cheese throughout it, the cottage cheese, the ricotta cheese, our meat sauce. Cheesy. Cheesy. Cheesy equals yummy, absolutely. Sinatra song, it's a piece of spaghetti pie. It's amor. Perfect. Perfect. This actually came out really, really well. And I'm glad you guys all hung out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. That is absolutely yummy. So let me get my phone, because I'm going to find out what we're going to send you so that I can enjoy my meal and you guys can have fun looking for suggestions on where you want to go. Dr. Z still up. Should we go? Shall I go raid Dr. Z? Yes, we're going to raid Dr. Z. Are you done? I was going to raid you. Are you still up? Yep, you're still up. I'm going to come over and raid you right now, my friend. Don't worry about it. Gotta get used to this not being a touchscreen, Liz. Come on. So it's /RAID, boom, Dr. ZEPPER S, or, you know what? Bump that. We're not going to Dr. Zeppers. Sorry, buddy. We're going to Welcome to Sandflies like we always do, just because it's a thing that we've been doing. So we're going to Welcome to Sandflies. WELCOMETOSANDFLY. Enter. you guys are going to be off to see our buddy Sandflies, who is actually really fun to watch, especially when I come and join him. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to keep eating this spaghetti pie. It is absolutely delicious. Good news is I got plenty for lunch this week. And as we know, with spaghetti, looks like we went with spaghetti. It's better later on. Alrighty, I'm gonna watch Sandflies.